Hi everybody, we've got Elvis watching over us today. I do hope you enjoyed the first walk in the series. This is the introduction to the second walk in the series, which is known as the Cronton Linear. Linear means that you don't actually come back to the end, but in this case you can do if you wish. The linear walk is about 4 miles, and if you're going to do this, complete the circular walk back to the start point, it's going to be 4.5 miles. So we start off at the same place, but when we get to the motorway, instead of turning left, we turn right and walk down the path towards Cronton Hall. I'll be showing you the public transport information when you come to make your choice at the end of the walk, whether to continue on back to the original start point or to go somewhere else and catch a bus, either back to the original start point or back home.
Time 2 is the same as the start points for walk 1, which is down the side of the Manor Farm pub off Mill Lane in Rainhill Stoops, Merseyside. The track to start off with is exactly the same. You head down towards the motorway bridge. But once you cross the bridge here, instead of turning left as we did in walk 1, we continue straight on along this track until we eventually come into Cronton Hall, which is here. At this point, we turn right onto Hall Lane and head towards this junction here, and then we turn left onto Penny Lane, and we walk all the way down Penny Lane, turning right until we get to the start of the next path, which is here where the single tree is. We then follow this path past the Rough, which is the name of this wood here, and then alongside the motorway until we come back to Hall Lane. Now we cross the motorway bridge, and believe it or not, there is a footpath here. It's the old Cronton Lane, but it doesn't show up on OpenStreetMap, and I've actually tried to upload the route to it and it doesn't work for some reason or other. So the path comes along here and eventually turns right and goes in between Blundellsville Golf Club. You turn right round this pond and then it comes up and joins this road here, eventually coming up to Blundell's Lane. So you turn right up Blundell's Lane, and this is where you have the option. You can either go to this bus stop here and wait for the 289, but if you remember, they're only 1 an hour. So you can either do that, or you can walk back along Mill Lane till you get to the start point, and that makes that walk 4 miles. Or you can go down View Road, which takes you into the centre of Rainhill Village, where you've got the options of going to this bus stop here to get the 61 back to Rainhill Stoops, or if you've come by public transport, you can then get a bus either towards Liverpool, towards Widnes, and go here and get a bus to St Helens, or you can come to Rainhill Station and go that way towards Liverpool and that way towards Manchester. The start for the linear walk around Cronton is the same as the circular walk, with the big difference that you will turn right at the motorway bridge instead of left, and then proceed down the path towards Cronton Hall. You can actually combine the walk by taking the left-hand turn, and when you get down to Cronton Hall, carrying straight on, or otherwise just carry on to the right.
This is where our route diverges onto Route 2. If you remember, on Route 1 we took this left-hand path here up the side of the motorway towards those poplars, which is the site of the old Rainhill sewage works. But Route 2 takes us along this footpath here, which is going to lead us all the way into Cronton Hall. And we've got a very old marker post there, which will say on it, public footpath, but it's a bit corroded with time. Now we're just starting to approach Cronton Hall's converted barns. And Cronton Hall coming up on the right, the beige building. And now we're coming to Town End, Cronton. And we'll turn right here and walk towards Cronton Cross. If you remember from Route 1, we came down that road and turned up there to go back to the start point. So you can put the two walks together if you like and make it a slightly longer one. Come on. When I say slightly longer, it'll be 6 miles. Just the other side of the give way sign is Cronton Cross. It's been moved a few times by all accounts, and it's thought it was originally a coffin resting point, because in the early days there was basically just a couple of farms here. So we're now passing the smithy on our left hand side, and the junction up ahead is Hall Lane leading up to Rainhill. And we're going to take the turning down to Penny Lane. More converted farmhouses on our right hand side. Always walk on the left hand side of an unpaved road at a right hand bend, and then when you're round the bend, move over to the right. Megan? So we continue on Penny Lane, which is a dead end. Right, so this tree that's coming up on its own is the start of the footpath. As you can see, there's no gate on this particular track, and it's very, very easy for people in transit trucks to come down here and dump the waste. I mean, this has been here quite a long time, but the poor old farmer has to pay for its removal himself. I did notice a sign up there saying there was CCTV on the end of the path to try and deter the would-be dumpers. Maybe it has, because at the moment with the lockdown a lot of the council rubbish tips are closed, so people have been dumping in the countryside so they can get rid of the rubbish. They obviously don't use the countryside themselves, otherwise they wouldn't do it. We're coming up to a section of Decking Bridge now. Now this is okay this time of the year, but if you use this path in winter, it gets covered in green slime and it's absolutely treacherous. You couldn't walk across it this fast in winter time. You would fall on your backside. Even the dogs worry on it at winter time. Now here's a historical point of view. The path originally used to go straight on here towards that pylon in the distance. Anyway, we will proceed on the correct path as indicated by the Ordnance Survey around the edge of the rough. Dog waiting for me to kick that stick. It's got no chance. Coming up to Hall Lane Bridge now. Come on then. And this section of woodland we're coming up to now is known as Duke's Clough. And Cronton Lane itself, or this footpath, divides Blundell's Hill Golf Course into two. We've got the golf club coming up to the left of us and to the right of us. Right, we're just coming up to the end of the footpath now, and we'll be entering the drivable part of Cronton Lane. It's actually a private road now, but still a footpath. Over to our right is Blundell's Hill Golf Club. It was built on top of the old Rainhill quarry. I'm assuming that the building's on solid ground and the car park's where the quarry used to be. Now coming up to Blundell's Lane. When we cross the road to the pavement on the other side, be careful crossing here because there's a blind bend either side. Those hills ahead of you are Helsby Hill on the right, moving across to Frodsham Hill on the left, and then moving slightly more around to the right. You've got the Cheshire Gap, and you can just see the chimneys of Stanley Oil Refinery. So this is the official end of the linear walk. As I've said in the introduction, you've got three things you can do now. You can either catch the bus, the 289, back to the Manor Farm, which is over where that gully sucker is, or you can walk down Mill Lane for another half mile or so to take you back to the Manor Farm, or you can go down View Road there, straight ahead of us, and that takes you into Rainhill village, and then you can get various methods of public transport to get you where you want to go. I hope you enjoy your walk, and I'll see you when I do walk 3, which will be Sutton Manor Woodland.